the thing is though, this is the thing though. We're backed into a corner, right? Because one, I have the choice of choosing my conscience, voting my conscience. Like this is what a lot of people are thinking: voting my conscience, or allowing this guy to have another 4 years, right? But my thing is, the Democratic Party's had 4 years to figure this out. You've had 4 years to let this guy win in as the most unpopular polling as the most unpopular numbers of any person who's ever been president. Like, wasn't he in like the 30s when he went in as a president, or was it 40s?
I think it was 40s. He dropped to the 30s at one point, though.
So you had 4 years to figure it out. So where it should have been, you should have had Ronald Reagan numbers in this election, which, you know what I mean, like carrying every state, but maybe his
still possible.
Sure.
It's still possible.
Okay, hey man, look, you also think Georgia's gonna be a swing state, so you know you're a little bit more optimistic than I am.
Which we haven't talked about. I've been putting myself on mute because someone has mown the lawn out there, but we also haven't talked about that, and we've been going a while now. It might need to be another episode then.
So that'll be for another episode. Real quickly, you already said why, because you what was it? You said you gave a little brief reason. I'll give you a brief reason why I think Texas would probably be. Only reason I say is because Atlanta is the one hotspot for blue voters, possibly blue voters in Georgia. But Texas has a lot more hotspots because they have a lot more cities. They have Houston, they have San Antonio, and there seems to be a lot of swing voters moving to that area, you know. And then I think there's what other city was I thinking about? Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Fort Worth, and Dallas are pretty much the same. I've heard. Where one of the basketball teams plays. So just different, like they have a lot more possibilities of becoming a swing state because a lot more people. And then Beto O'Rourke kind of gave me that idea, because even if it's gonna be a swing state, you also got to think about what kind of, between what two type of candidates will it be. More than likely, it'll be corporate Democrats that could win in Texas versus left-wing progressive.
Okay, so real quick, since you brought up Beto O'Rourke, right? So one of the things you're using as a basis for saying Texas is more likely to turn blue than Georgia is that in a statewide election, Beto came very close to unseating Ted Cruz, right? Very true.
You think John Ossoff might win? You think John Ossoff might be able to win?
I think so. But so the thing is,
those who don't know, John Ossoff is running against Senator Perdue here in Georgia. Just in case there's some people who don't know.
Texas and Georgia could actually both go blue, but I think Georgia is more likely because Georgia also had a statewide election that same year when O'Rourke faced up with Cruz, and it was Abrams versus Kemp. And Abrams is very close to winning against the Secretary of State of Georgia, whose office started saying that, there's a comma in your driver's license, but no comma here, because people have apostrophes, here but not here. We're gonna delete your name from the voter rolls, so there was a lot of voter suppression going on. There was a lot of news about people not being able to vote on that day. And still, yes.
You're trying to tell me that Kemp, who was in a position to overlook his own election, found a way to beat Abrams? You're trying to tell me that he might have done something corrupt to win the election?
Found a way to beat Abrams and still it was barely. He still barely beat Abrams. So that's what I'm saying. If he can barely win in an election that he's running, and it's 2 years later, that's 2 more years of seeing Republican ineptitude. I'm sorry, my Republican friends, of which I have many, but it's true. 2 more years of Republican ineptitude. A COVID crisis where we've seen Kemp running neck and neck with Ron DeSantis for the worst governor in the United States. I mean, I think Georgia is seeing the what's the word? Seeing the results of voting red, and they're thinking, you know what? It might not be all of Georgia, but there's definitely more of Georgia being like, maybe we need to not vote for these guys this time around, right?
So what you're
And also, a lot of people move into Atlanta.
So what you're saying is people who might be considered swing voters living in Georgia start moving to these rural places where you can get 30 acres of 30 acres of land for the same price that your mortgage would cost in Atlanta. So you're saying they should move. I'm being facetious. I know that's what you're saying, but you know what? This is something
that wouldn't even help. We just need all the people from like California. Look, California has enough Democrats. All right, you don't need to be there. Move to Atlanta. There's a film industry here. Move here. So you just move. So anyway, don't have to do that. I'm just.
All right. So this is something that hopefully we'll be able to see a better get a better idea of it, because obviously, like we said, John Ossoff versus Senator versus Perdue right now, and then John Ossoff has been polling has actually been polling really well. He was very close to winning the last one, which they gave it to Karen Handel, and then the Karen Handel lost to
McBath. Lucy McBath.
Yeah. Okay. So you might be right. Maybe some voters are starting to rethink. But anyways, all right, cool. So this is a good discussion, but I think we definitely we should end it, because if not, I think me and you could talk. Like you said, there's a heavy dose of politics in this podcast.
We're gonna cut it up. Yeah.
But we need to cut. Yeah, we need to start cutting it up. Maybe we need to talk like in the beginning, in the middle, and then in between, start sticking the fun stuff.